What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to try to do a little bit of a promotional video. And I figured Marvel and DC always seem to have their super hyper fanboy types on the internet. And I wanted to sort of bring that same enthusiasm to a smaller comic publisher. And for those of you who sort of follow me on either YouTube or on Twitter, then you'll probably know that I really enjoy genuine comics. Dave Brink always puts out a fantastic product, and I think that there should be more people who are putting out stuff like his. He puts out great stories. It's always attached to great art. And I wanted to do a video showcasing all of the stuff that I've gotten from Genuine Comics. This could be stuff that I've gotten from his web store, or it could be stuff that I've gotten from the crowdfunded campaigns that he's run. So, without any further ado, I'm going to jump right into that with the first of the crowdfunded campaigns, Perfect 10, Issue 1, and since I wasn't able to get in on the first campaign, Perfect 10, Issue 2, because I got the catch-up tier. Now, this is the one that first introduced me to Perfect 10 and the character of 10. Now, 10 is a synthoid who is created as an assassin to try and go after creatures called metas, which are sort of like super-powered beings in the Genuine Comics world. And she wakes up at the beginning of the story with no memory of her past, and she is sort of thrust into a conflict where she is the one being hunted, and she doesn't remember what she did to be hunted. So it's sort of a story from beginning to end of her trying to set her own path and be a hero. And I think so far, it's up to issue 6 right now. It's actually going very well. Now, this is the first image that I saw of 10, and I thought it was perfect. Pardon the pun. And the art style by Paul Rodriguez is utterly fantastic. I always keep coming back to this, both because of the story and because of the art. You'll see it with both of these. All of these characters you'll see in the stories. Some of them, even though they're smaller characters, I have grown attached to. You can tell which one. And I think that all these characters open themselves up to a lot of possibilities for more stories in the Genuine Comics universe. It's like it was the fourth one, but I'll show you the third issue. And as you can see, it's a common thing with these covers that it looks so good. So, issues 1, 2, 3, and now 4. Now, what I was going to say is, in issue 4, you're also introduced to a character called the Flying Dutchman. And it starts off as like sort of a smaller character, smaller interaction with this villainous Calamity. And he comes back in another comic in this little haul that I have, and he has his own story as well. So I think that's cool, being able, with Dave's ability to have these other characters and pull these stories out of them. So I think that's really cool. Now also you'll see on here you have Gorgeous and Grotesque. They're also ones that if you pull up Dave's X profile, then you'll see pictures of them, or like sort of like concept drawings, I guess you would see. And I believe he wants to put them into a comic of their own, and I think that would be really cool. Because they seem like a good pairing from what you can see in issue 4. And we have the latest one to be released so far, issue number 5. Now, issue 5 was mostly action, and being able to see this battle take place over multiple different pages, it highlighted Pal Rodrick's ability to both draw characters, which you can see from the art in all of the previous issues as well, but his ability to show action. It's really cool, and you're able to follow everything that's going on the page without being disoriented. So this is a great showcase of that. Now, you also have issue number 6, which is currently funding on FundMyComic. And I believe Dave was saying that he wants to do either Kickstarter or Indiegogo for sort of like a secondary campaign for it. Don't quote me on that, but I think I've heard him say it. But I would definitely suggest going over and getting it while you still can. Because whenever you back all of these on a crowdfunded page, what you can get is all of the extras. And give me a moment. The extras can be anything from prints, like this one, which was a print of American Bliss and Perfect 10 by Clayton Barton. And American Bliss is another comic put out by Genuine Comics, and that's another one which I'll be showing you guys after this. But they're both great characters. Then you have ones of 10 and of Replica. I really like Replica for some reason. She stuck out to me as a character, and I don't know, I just haven't been able to get like her design and just like her interactions out of my head whenever it comes to like Genuine Comics. I really like her as a character, and the way that she's drawn sort of appeals to me. So, call it what you will. But here we have a print of Safeguard over here, and on the other side we have 10 and Stellar. I believe that was a cover art of the. I believe that was cover art for one of the books, but it was unused cover art. I think it may have been issue 3 or 4. Then we have the Prime Syndicate, which is the villains of the story. And we have 10 and Calamity in the background. And as you can see with the Prime Syndicate, there's another interpretation of Replica. We've got another Safeguard print and an American Bliss print. And we have an American Bliss cosplay print, and another Safeguard. I believe that's a Safeguard print because it has several of the characters from Safeguard. Now, the other thing that you can get in addition to prints on these campaigns is trading cards. And these are just little interpretations that give you a look at a different art style for these characters, both on the front and on the back. So, you get all of those characters there, and you get them on the back as well. These are sort of like the chibi versions, I guess you would say. And let's see, there are all of those ones, and we also have Chernobyl right here. And he's one of the first villains that you'd see in the Perfect 10 universe. And he is like a skull that's floating in an atomic suit, or like a nuclear suit, or I think that's the nuclear symbol on his chest. And it is so cool. Okay, I think this would be alright to show. I'm going to take that off just in case. This is on the same page as some other characters, and they may not be safe to show on camera. So, you can see the Flying Dutchman here, gorgeous, grotesque. All of them look really cool. We have the other interpretations of them down there. Almost forgot to show her. Good lord. Okay. And let's put this one back before I forget. Let's see if there's any other trading cards from the Perfect 10 universe before we head out from this one. Okay. I should have just started with this one. Alright. Ignore the Joe Frankenstein one, but we have all of these sort of like repeats of these trading cards. And some of them are, again, different interpretations, I think. Nope, they're not. It just looked like it from the camera angle that I was seeing it on here. But we have all of those. And I think that's all the trading cards that are on there. Those are the ones that I got from the campaigns, because usually they are either included as a stretch goal, or I think they come with the orders. And I think it's fun to have those little goodies that come along with the campaign, because it's something that you don't necessarily expect, but it's also a good way to expand the merchandise. And if you really like a comic company, then you're going to want to rep their merchandise. So, we also have these little magnets of 10. As you can see, I haven't taken them out yet. Whenever I end up getting my own refrigerator, then maybe I'll put them on there. Or if I do something that has something that I can stick the magnets to, then I'll probably put them on there. We also have this sort of like cloth poster of American Bliss, which whenever I get a place with more space, then I will definitely be hanging up this beauty. since we're talking about American Bliss, I haven't shown her comic yet, I will do just that. Once I find it. There we go. So, we have the American Bliss comic. This was sort of a, I guess you'd say, like a tribute cover to like a Miss Marvel comic from probably like many, many years ago. If you know the pose, then you'll know which comic, but I don't know it from memory. I think that it just looks really cool. Now, this is the follow-up on an introduction story to the American Bliss character that was told in Power Trip, issue 1. And Power Trip is like a small anthology story that gives an introduction to various characters in the Genuine Comics universe. And I guess it allows Dave to see what characters, which ones get the most attention, and also which ones are seen as the most favorable ones, or whichever ones he thinks will end up being the best ones to market and push, and which ones will have the best stories that will be going along with them. Because American Bliss seemed to be the breakout star of this comic, and you can see why. In this comic, her story was drawn by Pau Rodrigues, and Pau bringing his style to this story really highlights it, and her story was really good. It was like a little fight with her and a meta, and it was short and concise while also getting the point across that she is hot and able to fight. So it's everything you would want to see in like a very short story, and it gets the point across without dragging it on too long. So that kind of story is what you can see in Power Trip. Now, you also have Power Trip issue number 2, and I would say the breakout star of this one was Flying Dutchman. And he sort of he gets a little bit of a cheating pass here, because he first showed up, at least I'm aware of him first showing up, in issue 4 of Perfect 10, whenever he was taking down Calamity, or at least trying to. And you're sort of introduced to him through that story. This delves more deeply into his character, at least a little bit. It's another shorter story where he is confronting a meta, and he's showing how he would prefer to deal with metas. And it's something that you don't necessarily see all that often, and it's a refreshing change of pace. So this was Power Trip issue number 2. I really like how Dave does these Power Trip issues, because it introduces more of these characters and it gets them in front of people's eyes without dedicating a whole book to them, especially if you know nothing about them. It's like quick introduction. If you, for some reason, don't like one of the characters, you can still go to the other 2 and be like, these are really cool. And it's overall, it's a very positive interaction with the Genuine Comics universe. Now, what else we have is we have sort of like a, I guess like a Genuine Comics Elseworlds story, which is called Crossworlds. Now, I only saw this comic on like, I got it on one campaign, I believe, and I haven't seen them on the other ones. I don't know if this is now not a thing that's going on, or if it's just like, or if it's taking like a hiatus. But Crossworlds is the Genuine Comics universe crossing over with other universes. This one is with Camilla Wallace, and they're, as it says in the actual description of the book, it's considered non-canon. If you read it, then you can obviously see why. And it's just a little fun romp around the different universes and it's like having that crossover appeal. I think this story is a fun one. Even though it's not drawn by Paul Rodrigues, it still has a very fun art style. I like it. No harm in having a little bit of fun outside of like the main canon universe. And we also have Dream Girl Sleeper Agent, which, if you'll notice, has not been a crowdfunded comic. This I got as an add-on for one of the crowdfunded comics. And it's also available on Genuine Comics website, as well as some other stories. And those were the ones that were put out, as well as this one, before Perfect 10 came out. So Perfect 10 was sort of like the crowdfunded beginning of the Genuine Comics universe, but Dave Brink has put out several comics about characters in the Genuine Comics universe before 10. And this was the one that I got, mostly because it has a hot chick on the cover. Now, this is a story of sort of like a superpowered like agent of Division M who can go into people's nightmares and fight these creatures to keep them from coming into our world and causing havoc. It's a story that I don't see a lot of, and I think it's handled quite well. The action is really good. The mind-bending visuals is very appealing to see, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat. So this is proof that Perfect 10 is not the only really good story in Genuine Comics. It is a consistent pattern with Dave to continue putting out really good stories and developing really good characters. I, for one, would love to see a continuation of this story, as well as many others. And that's pretty much all when it comes to stories. But there's also some additional stuff that will help you to dive further into the Genuine Comics universe. And I'm going to try and not say Genuine Comics, Genuine Comics, Genuine Comics, because it'll take all of the meaning out of the words. But we have the Heroes and Villains, the Art of Genuine Comics, and it gives you sort of a look at other characters that Dave has created that maybe haven't shown up yet in the in-universe stories, but there's the opportunity to. And it also gives you some other interpretations of already existing characters. Like, I know that there's several interpretations of Replica. There's, I believe, a couple of Gorgeous and Grotesque. And there's also some other ones that you might be more familiar with if you look at the Genuine Comics website. And then we also have the second issue, the Heroes and Villains, the Art of Genuine Comics, #2. And I have 2 of those. I think I got one on an earlier campaign, and then I completely forgot that I got one, so I have 2 of them. But yeah, it continues the theme of giving you looks at the art of other characters and preparing you for stories involving those characters. Now you can also go to Dave's X page and you can see pictures, or like you can see him posting art of other characters in the Genuine Comics universe. I know that I forget what the name of the character is, but he has like a centaur type character that he's showcasing now, and he's also showcasing a Safeguard story by Alan Goldman. I'm hoping that's correct. But it looks like it's turning out absolutely fantastic. The art is it's so good. Like all of the art with this stuff is so good. And to further highlight that, I had to get the artist edition of Perfect 10. This was the art for the first book, as well as art for several other Genuine Comics projects. So it's like we have the actual pages of the comic itself. I believe it's just the issue number 1. We have the script over here. We have the covers, or like the pencils for the covers. There's one in here, or like there's one pinup that I honest to God wish was a poster, because I would buy that so quickly. So quickly. There we are. This one. This one is freaking gorgeous. I love it. Dave, if this was ever a poster, I would get this. And like Pal's work with them and making them so gorgeous, it's awesome. Like, I'm gonna keep harping on this. I love it. I love all the art with this, let's be honest. But yeah, I had to grab this whenever it came up because I love the art in the Genuine Comics universe, specifically in Perfect 10, but all the other ones are really good as well. So, what we're going to do now, that I've shown you all of these little goodies that I have from Dave Brink and the Genuine Comics universe, I'm going to show you what he is currently funding. Now, if you go on over to FundMyComic, then you'll see that Dave is currently funding for the Perfect Collection and the Perfect 10 issue number 6. Now, you have the conclusion to the Perfect 10 story. I don't think it's the conclusion of the Perfect 10 character, because David said that he likes the character and he wants to do more stories. But the end of this arc is in this story. You can see even more of the great art that you'll see in this comic. And you get a look at the covers, the other stuff that's being offered. You have the entire story in either paperback or hardcover. And even more stuff that you can get on this campaign. You have the commissions from Pal Rodricks. I highly recommend you getting them if you have the funds. You have the campaign freebies, like trading cards and a bookmark. And yeah, we have all of that stuff. You can add on any issue of Perfect 10 that you feel like. And you have the original cover art. All sorts of options on this that you can definitely go ahead and purchase. I would highly recommend it. I've already backed this project and I'm really looking forward to getting it. And if you want to dive even further into the Genuine Comics universe, then you can go over to the Genuine Comics website, and you'll see all the stuff that is here. You have the previous issues of Perfect 10 available. You have the comic books, the art books, the digital downloads, the prints, and the flags. So you'll see all of those prints that I had in my books. You have those here. And you also have all of the books. Now, the other characters that I do not have are the Ajax, the Earthling comics. The Earthling ones are comics that it's the only one that has multiple issues to it. I do not have those ones as of yet, but in the future I may end up picking those up. You also have the original art for certain pages in Perfect 10, and this is pretty much like the storefront of the Genuine Comics website. So I highly recommend checking it out. And you also have Dave Brink's X account. And on here, you can see that he posts artwork of various characters throughout the Genuine Comics universe. You also see that he does some other posts as well. Here's the Safeguard art that I was talking about by Alan Goldman. I was correct with that name. And it looks absolutely fantastic. Like, this is up there with Power Roderick's work. I really love how it turns out, and I can't wait to see how that book is going to look whenever it's completed. Now, you also have the Genuine Comics YouTube page. Definitely go over there and subscribe, because Dave hosts various other comic creators on his Sunday show called A Drink with Brink, and they showcase a lot of different comic stories and art styles, and it's really intriguing to watch. So definitely go over there and check that out. And occasionally he'll also give updates on Perfect 10 and stuff that he is working on. So if you want to see stuff like that, which I think that you really should, then definitely go over and subscribe to his YouTube channel. But yeah, that is all the places where you can find Genuine Comics information, their website, their most recently funding campaigns. So yeah, I would say definitely go over and check those out, because you'll be kicking yourself if you don't. It is all really fantastic stories and fantastic art. I can't praise it highly enough. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your favorite character in the Genuine Comics universe is. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.